Hey guys, I'm still alive, so that's something, I guess. Which leads me into my next video. I saw these things, these tops. They're like teddy bear fabric, and I think they're called quarter zip tops because they zip a quarter of the way at the front. I don't know, but I decided I was gonna try and make one because I love teddy bear fabric and I have some in my stash that I've been holding for about half a year, so what better way to use it than in this project? I could surprise myself and actually make something that doesn't suck. Who said that? Me? We'll see what happens. In my usual fashion, I'm going to try and make it as simplistic as I can because I don't like big complicated patterns. Yeah, okay, let's go. So, the first step was to come up with a pattern, and because I had copious amounts of Christmas wrapping paper, I decided to use this and weigh it down with my handy dandy $10 slides because my pattern weights were upstairs and I'm lazy. To get the pattern for this top, I used a super cheap Boohoo brand hoodie and I just traced all around it, kind of hoping that it would work to make a non-hoodie top. And you know what? It did. Actually, it worked really well because the front and back were almost identical and the sleeves were perfectly symmetrical, meaning I only needed 3 pattern pieces for this entire top. That's right, 3 pattern pieces. I could not be happier with that. Now, these pieces were rough, like really rough. But they worked because teddy fabric is so forgiving that you can kind of get away with anything, honestly. Your sewing just kind of disappears into the fabric. It's fantastic. And from these pattern pieces, I was able to cut out a front, a back, 2 arms, and a collar piece. So here's the drawing of the final pattern pieces, and this is what they will give me: a front, a back, 2 sleeves, and a collar. Everything is to be cut on the fold, and the difference between the front and the back pieces is that the front piece neckline will be cut just a little bit lower. The collar measurement is simply the length of the front and the back neckline, which will be doubled because it is to be cut on the fold. The zip length will take into consideration the length of the collar plus however far down the center of the front it needs to go, and the hem length for the sleeves and the front and the back are entirely dependent on the size of the elastic since I will be making channels. In the end, these are the pieces I'll get. Did you get any of that? Okay, time for a cutting montage. That was fun, but now on to the actual sewing. The first step was to attach the front and back pieces together at the shoulders and overlock them. Nice and easy. With that done, I did a little dance and then it was time to attach the collar to the neckline. Essentially, I just marked everything into quarters, which made sense to do, and then lined everything up. And here it is with the collar attached. Turning it inside out, I marked roughly where I wanted the zip to go. And then turning it back the right way, I decided to do this trick I had seen on a random 5-minute craft video. I know, that should have been a red flag right there, but I wanted to try it anyway. So I had to line up roughly where the zip would be again, and then I flipped the entire zip from the end point so that it was facing downwards and pinned it in place, and sewed right across the end of it right there. And when that was done, I flipped everything over and cut down along the mark I had made earlier, right to where the end where the zip was, where I cut 2 little slits either side. Then I had to flip everything back over and ta-da! The base of the zip was perfectly secured. So now all I had to do was tuck it in and attach the sides of the front piece to the zip. And then the main part of the zip was attached, and it was time to attach the collar. To do this, I trimmed the zip down evenly to where the center of the collar piece folded, and then I simply tucked the collar over the top. Does that make sense? It's basically fabric origami at this point, but it worked. And here's the collar. I went ahead and sewed the rest of the collar down along the neckline. Again, teddy fabric is so forgiving. I swear my stitching was all over the place, but you can hardly tell. And then I top stitched all around the collar and down around the zip as well, just to make sure everything was really secure. Guys, I'm not a great sewer, so I like to be able to make sure everything is really secure. As a side note, does anyone else wake up to find their cat waiting to have business meetings with them?
Hello, we've been trying to reach you regarding your cat's extended warranty.
So now that the zip was installed, which was arguably the hardest part of this entire garment, I could go ahead and attach the sleeves. I did this by easing the top of the sleeves into the awaiting sleeve gap. I'm aware it's not called that, but let's just go with it. And when that was done, it was time to do the cheaty method of sewing up both the arms and the side seams at the same time in one go. Is it really cheaty? Probably not. Does it feel cheaty? Oh yes. And then it was elastic time. For the correct length of elastic to use, I just quickly measured myself around the waist and went with that. No secrets or hard explanations here. I did the same for my wrists, and then I went ahead and overlocked the hems before turning them all up by the necessary amount to form a channel large enough for the elastic to fit inside. And here I am, jamming elastic into the channel. And then doing exactly the same for the cuffs, for which I was mostly out of frame because I'm just so good at making YouTube videos. Anyway, how did it look? In all honesty, I actually surprised myself with the creation of this top. I thought for sure I'd somehow screw it up and have wasted all my teddy fabric, but actually it came together quite nicely and the top has become part of my current rotation. It's thin enough for spring, which my country is currently in, yet warm enough to keep me cozy. So tell me what you think, and if you have any suggestions on what I should make in the future, let me know. Okay, bye!